Let me ask you something you may have never said out loud. Do you wake up and brace yourself before you even sit up in bed? Do your mornings start with that quiet hesitation, the kind where your joints feel stuck, your back whispers pain, and your knees beg for just 5 more minutes of stillness? Have you come to believe that this discomfort is just part of aging? Because for millions of seniors, pain has become a morning routine. One that begins not with a breath of fresh air, but with a groan. One that doesn't ask, "What will I do today?" but instead, "How much will it hurt?" If that sounds like you, or someone you love, I want you to listen closely. Because today, I'm not offering hype. I'm not selling hope in a bottle. What I'm about to share with you is something much deeper, and much more real. But first, let me ask. Where are you watching from? Is it a quiet morning in the Midwest? A sunny afternoon in Australia? A cozy evening in the UK? Wherever you are, I'm glad you're here. Drop your city or country in the comments. It's a gift to see how far this community of wisdom reaches. And if you believe that strength doesn't end with age, if you believe that health is still possible at 70, 80, even 90, then take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because here at Elderly Reflections, we share stories that matter. Not headlines. Not trends. But truth. Now, let's talk about something most seniors have accepted, but maybe shouldn't have to. Chronic pain. For many older adults, it's just part of life. Lower back pain. Aching joints. Tight shoulders. Stiff knees. And when you mention it to a doctor, you're handed a prescription. Painkillers. Muscle relaxants. Anti-inflammatories. Maybe they help. But at what cost? Drowsiness. Stomach issues. Foggy thinking. Sometimes dependence. Sometimes depression. And all the while, the pain is still there, just quieter. For a while. Now, what if I told you there's another way? Let me introduce you to someone remarkable. His name is Leonard Hayes. He's 82 years old. Lives just outside Portland, Oregon. And 5 years ago, he was in the exact place we're talking about. Back pain every morning. Hips so tight he couldn't cross his legs. Knees that cracked and burned just from standing up. 3 medications. A walker. A recliner that became more like a second body than a piece of furniture. But what he told me that day changed the way I look at senior pain forever. He said, "I felt like I was dissolving into the chair. Like I was slowly disappearing. And I realized, if I didn't do something, I wasn't going to die from pain. I was going to die from stillness." That's when everything began to change. Not overnight. Not with some product from a late-night infomercial. Not in a clinic with machines and trainers. It changed, at home. In 10 minutes a day. Before breakfast. Before coffee. Before the world could interrupt. Leonard built a morning routine, one he could do every day, without equipment, without noise, without pressure. And that routine? It didn't just reduce his pain. It gave him back his power. But before we break down what Leonard does each morning, I want you to understand why this matters, scientifically, emotionally, physically. The CDC reports that more than half of adults over 65 live with some form of chronic pain. Backs. Knees. Shoulders. Hips. It's everywhere. And for many, it slowly chips away at their independence, their confidence, and their identity. You stop walking as much. You stop cooking. You cancel plans. You start sitting more. And before long, you begin to feel like less of yourself. But what doctors and researchers are starting to discover, and what Leonard's story proves, is that the human body, even in its 70s, 80s, and 90s, is far more capable than we've been led to believe. Muscles may lose mass. Joints may stiffen. But with the right kind of movement, they can come back to life. It doesn't have to be aggressive. It doesn't have to hurt. It just has to be intentional. Leonard started with just 10 minutes. And now, I'll walk you through exactly what he does in those 10 minutes. Because you can do it, too. It starts at 6:30 a.m. The room is still quiet. No phones. No distractions. Before he even sits up in bed, Leonard begins with 3 deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Not fast. Not forced. Just slow, calming breaths to signal the body, it's time to wake up, gently. Then, while still lying down, he pulls one knee to his chest. Holds it for 5 seconds. Releases. Switches legs. He does this 5 times per side. Why? Because this gentle stretch opens up the hips and lower back, 2 of the most common areas of senior pain. He's not forcing it. Just greeting his joints. Next, he swings his legs over the edge of the bed, places his feet flat on the ground, and does ankle circles, 10 in each direction. Your ankles, he told me, are your first line of balance. They tell the rest of your body where it is. So I talk to them first. Then, Leonard stands up slowly, walks to the window, and opens the curtains. Every morning, without fail, he greets the sun. Or the clouds. Or the rain. Whatever the sky brings, he accepts it. He raises his arms over his head, reaches gently to the ceiling, and breathes. Holds for 5 seconds. Releases. He does this 5 times. This motion stretches the spine. Opens the chest. Activates the shoulders. And perhaps most importantly, it tells his body, you're alive today. Let's begin. Then, while the kettle boils in the kitchen, Leonard places his hands on the counter. Takes a step back. And does 10 slow push-ups, not on the floor, but at the counter. He keeps his spine straight. Moves slow and controlled. Each rep strengthens the arms, chest, and core. He calls them T push-ups. And when he's done, he pours his cup, takes a sip, and smiles. It's like I took a pill, he says. But the medicine wasn't in the bottle. It was in me. Now you might be wondering, does this really work? Let's look at the results. In just 2 years, Leonard went from using a walker to walking unaided. He reduced his medications from daily to as needed. His blood pressure stabilized. His sleep improved. His digestion normalized. And most visibly, he started smiling again. Pain steals your energy. But movement brings it back. And Leonard's story isn't rare, it's just undertold. A 2022 study in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy found that 15 minutes of daily light mobility work reduced pain and increased movement in seniors over 70. Another study from the University of Copenhagen showed that low-impact strength and stretching decreased pain medication use by nearly 40% in just 3 months. You don't need hours. You don't need equipment. You don't need youth. You need 10 minutes. And belief. If this message stirred something inside you, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and say, I'm ready to move again. Let this be your beginning. Like it was for Leonard. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because here, we don't give up. We grow stronger, with wisdom, with movement, and with each other. And before you go, tell me, where are you watching from today? Your presence in this community matters. You are not broken. You are not finished. You are not powerless. And your story? It might just begin before breakfast. Now that you've seen how Leonard Hayes starts his day, let's go deeper into why this routine works, not just for him, but for thousands of seniors across the world who found relief through consistent, gentle morning movement. We need to talk about the science behind it, because this isn't just some feel-good story. This is how the body, especially the aging body, truly functions. You see, as we get older, inflammation naturally increases. It's one of the silent drivers behind chronic pain, joint stiffness, muscle aches, even fatigue. And while medication can temporarily suppress inflammation, movement regulates it. That's right. When you stretch, breathe deeply, and get your blood flowing, your body releases anti-inflammatory compounds, your own internal medicine, produced naturally. That's one of the reasons Leonard starts with deep breathing. It's not just to relax. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your brain that tells your body, you're safe. You can heal. You can let go of pain. When you breathe like that, slow, full, and mindful, it reduces cortisol, eases blood pressure, and helps your body shift from tension into repair. Now, let's focus on one of the most underrated moves in Leonard's routine. Pulling his knees to his chest while still in bed. This simple stretch does more than just loosen your lower back. It actually wakes up your spine, your hip flexors, and your digestion. If you've ever felt that sluggish, blocked up feeling in the morning, this stretch gets things moving. Doctors at Johns Hopkins even recommend this move for patients recovering from spinal surgery. That's how effective and gentle it is. Here's something Leonard added a year ago that's made a huge difference. Marching in place after his counter push-ups. He started with just 20 steps. Now he's up to 100 every morning. Slow, steady steps right there in his kitchen. And do you know what this does? It activates the legs, knees, ankles, and core, while giving the heart just enough work to improve circulation and oxygen flow. And get this. A 2021 study from the British Journal of Sports Medicine found that seniors who did low-intensity steps indoors every morning reported a 40% improvement in pain management within just 8 weeks. 40% without a single pill. Leonard also practices something most seniors overlook. Jaw and neck movement. He gently turns his head left and right, tilts it forward and back, and makes small circular motions with his shoulders. Why? Because tight neck muscles can cause headaches, poor posture, and even affect your breathing. Seniors who sit for long periods often develop forward head posture, what some doctors call tech neck. Even if you don't use screens, the posture still creeps in from time and recliners or poor pillows. He told me once. The pain I used to feel in my lower back was actually coming from how I held my shoulders and neck all day. Once he added upper body mobility to his morning, the back pain started to fade. Another key to Leonard's success? He doesn't just move, he moves with awareness. He doesn't rush through the motions. Every stretch, every step, he's tuned in. That awareness, that presence, changes everything. You stop treating your body like a machine and start treating it like a partner. And when you do that, the pain no longer controls you. You become an active participant in your healing. Let's talk about another major part of his success. Hydration. After his movement routine, Leonard always drinks a full glass of warm water with lemon. Why warm? Because it wakes up the digestive system. Why lemon? It supports liver function and reduces inflammation. Hydration first thing in the morning helps lubricate the joints, flush out overnight toxins, and prevent the kind of muscle cramps that can ruin your day before it even starts. Pain often feels worse when we're dehydrated, especially in the spine and knees. Leonard swears by his warm lemon water. He says it's like WD-40 for the body. Now, here's something else he changed. His morning mindset. Before starting any movement, he says one sentence out loud. Every day, the same words. I am stronger than yesterday, and I'm just getting started. That may sound small, but it's powerful. Because the mind and body are linked. Seniors who believe they're weak, who say I'm just getting old or my body's breaking down, they start to live into that belief. But when you speak strength, even if it feels silly at first, your body hears it. Your nervous system hears it. Your cells hear it. Leonard says, I don't just stretch my muscles, I stretch my thinking. Now let's look at the bigger picture. How did this morning routine change Leonard's life? Here's the transformation. Before. Daily back pain. Dependent on 3 prescriptions. Used a cane. Felt tired by noon. After. No longer uses the cane. Only takes medication occasionally. Moves freely around his home. Feels energized throughout the day. Sleeps better. eats better, laughs more. And here's the part that moves me most, he's now helping others. Every Saturday, Leonard hosts a movement circle at his local community center. 5 to 6 seniors gather, no gym clothes, no judgment. Just slow movement, shared stories, and encouragement. One of the ladies who joined him was 85 and hadn't exercised in years. After 1 month, she told him, "Leonard, I can tie my shoes again without pain." That's what happens when we take charge of our mornings. We take charge of our lives. And I want you to hear me clearly now. You can do this too. Start small. Start slow. Start sitting up in bed and breathing. Start rotating your ankles. Start stretching toward the sky like Leonard. You don't have to do it all. But you have to do something. And you have to do it every day. Because consistency is what rewires your body. Not intensity. Not perfection. Just showing up. You've lived a long life. You've been through storms, heartaches, joys, and changes. And now, you deserve mornings that heal you, not hurt you. You deserve to feel ownership over your own body again. This isn't about going backward. This is about moving forward, into the healthiest, most empowered version of you. So here's your challenge. Tomorrow morning, try just one part of Leonard's routine. Just one. Maybe the breathing. Maybe the knee stretch. Maybe the counter push-ups. And when you're done, come back here. Tell us in the comments how it felt. Share your strength. And don't forget, hit that like button and subscribe to Elderly Reflections. This channel is here for people just like you. Seniors who want more than pills, more than pain, more than passive aging. We share stories, motivation, inspiration, and real senior health strategies that work. Wherever you are, however you feel right now, know this, your body still listens. It still responds. It still remembers. You just have to wake it up. One morning at a time. Let's take this all the way home, because by now, you've seen it's not just about what Leonard does, it's about what it means. His story isn't rare. It's a reflection of something many seniors forget they still have, power. The power to choose. To shift. To change the story, even after 70, even after 80. And especially in the morning, when you wake up and decide that today, you're not giving your body to the chair, you're giving it to life. Now, if you're thinking, I don't know if I can do this every day. Let me share something Leonard said to me, it's not about doing it forever. It's about doing it today. That's how forever happens. That's the heart of it. You don't build freedom by pushing hard for one day and collapsing the next. You build it by showing up again and again in small, intentional ways. That's what real strength looks like after 60. Discipline wrapped in kindness. So let's break down exactly what Leonard's routine gave him, and what it can give you, too. First, it gave him energy. And I'm not talking about bouncing off the walls energy. I'm talking about sustained, steady, grounded energy. The kind that gets you through the day without needing to lie down after every small task. That's what moving first thing in the morning does, it signals to the body. We're active today. Get ready. Your metabolism picks up. Your circulation improves. Your lungs expand. Your brain turns on. And just like that, your day stops being something to get through, and starts being something you actually live. It also gave him confidence. That quiet, steady kind of confidence that says, I can handle this. When your body hurts less, when your steps feel more stable, when you're not afraid to bend down and pick something up, you start to feel like yourself again. And when you feel like yourself, you stop disappearing. That's what Leonard's granddaughter noticed first. She said, Grandpa started smiling before his coffee again. That's how deep movement goes, it lifts your posture, yes, but it also lifts your spirit. Then, there's something a lot of people don't talk about, but it matters, routine brings stability. For many seniors, life after retirement gets unpredictable. Less structure. Less social connection. more time to worry or feel alone. But a morning routine? It grounds you. It gives you rhythm. It says, no matter what happens today, I've already done something good for myself. And that's priceless. That's the kind of emotional wellness that keeps people going through the hard seasons. Especially for those dealing with grief, loneliness, or anxiety, the body becomes the anchor. Here's the real win. Leonard's body didn't just get stronger. His whole life did. He started sleeping better because his body was more relaxed at night. He started eating better because movement increased his appetite and digestion. He started reaching out to old friends because his confidence was growing again. And he started looking forward to the future again. At 82. And now I need to say this directly to you, your mornings matter. Not because of what time you wake up. Not because you need to do what Leonard does exactly. But because your first actions shape your whole day. They set the tone. They send a message. So ask yourself, what message are you sending when the first thing you do is sit down in pain, without moving, without breathing, without checking in with your body? What would change if the first thing you did was honor your body, even just for 5 minutes? Imagine starting your day not with pills, but with purpose. Not with groaning, but with gratitude. Not with pain, but with presence. You don't have to copy Leonard. You can build your own version. Maybe you prefer standing stretches while the kettle boils. Maybe you like rolling your shoulders while brushing your teeth. Maybe your joints feel better in the shower, so you stretch under warm water. That counts. There's no perfect way. There's just your way. And if you miss a day, that's fine. You don't give up brushing your teeth because you forgot once. You just come back. Gently. Confidently. Because this isn't punishment. This is self-respect. That's what this channel, Elderly Reflections, is about. Not motivation for the sake of it, but real, grounded action. Practical habits. Stories that stick. Senior health that works. Quotes that remind you of your own wisdom. Life lessons from the elderly, for the elderly, by the elderly. So let's wrap this up with something Leonard wrote in his notebook last fall. I saw it, and it hit me hard. It said, if I want to stand tall at 85, I have to rise with purpose at 82. That's it. That's the truth. You don't have to be pain-free to feel powerful. You just have to show up. Breathe deep. Stand tall. Move your limbs. Drink your water. And tell yourself the truth. You are still in the game. So here's what I'd love for you to do. Tomorrow morning, try one small part of Leonard's routine, or build your own. Breathe before you rise. Stretch before you speak. Move before the world moves in on you. And then come back here. Share it with us. Leave a comment. Let's build this community, one strong morning at a time. If this video spoke to you, please hit that like button. It helps us reach more seniors who need this message. Subscribe to Elderly Reflections for more content that lifts your spirit, strengthens your body, and reminds you that aging isn't the end, it's the beginning of a deeper, wiser strength. So wherever you are, New York or New Zealand, Boston or Berlin, I want you to remember this. You're not done. You're just getting started. And your morning? That's where your power begins.